Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, Sigval here and welcome back to our video. This will be a bit of a different one. I'm going to talk today about 5 things that I would love to see implemented in Injustice 2 Mobile. And they're not going to be in any particular order, and we're going to get right into them. First of all, I would love to see a change in the arena system, and before any of you start commenting, say, well, why do you even make those videos? They don't care. You're correct, but partially. Look, it took 3 years of people complaining for them to put a slider in the League Store XP capsule purchase and for them to reveal to everybody how much money everybody donated in League donations. It took 3 years of people constantly asking for it, but it happened. So that's proof that it is possible. Unlikely, but it's still possible. So what I'm saying here might still not be worthless, so that's motivation enough for me to keep going and actually do this. First of all, the arena system is absolutely broken. First of all, how it works right now. When you start a new account in the game, you're going to be placed in the most recent arena that was made. There's different arena brackets. You can never leave your arena brackets. There's a lot of them. And a new arena bracket is created roughly with every single update. And all the new players until the next bracket is created are dumped in there. Which is a fair system when you start off the game. But if you start off an account, which happened to my main account actually, and then you don't play on that account anymore, and then come back to it, you're still going to be stuck in that bracket with people that have been playing for months and months and months. So what I would suggest is a total revamp of the arena system while keeping the base of it intact, but also fusing it with the Champions Arena system. So we're going to have divisions in Arena, like Champions Arena has it. And at the beginning of this system, absolutely everybody is going to get dumped in the first division. That's going to be absolutely hell to play through. I know that, but they are going to introduce upwards division. So let's say when in the first division you get in a certain season above Elite 1, you're going to move on to the next division. As you move on to the next division, you're going to get a slight increase in rewards, and it keeps going. And the requirements to get to a higher division will also increase. Like, let's say, from Division 2 to Division 3 to move up, you're going to need to finish at the very least in Elite 2, then Elite 3, then Elite 4, and however they exactly want to increase this. I don't work for balancing or anything like that, but this is the base idea. It doesn't matter how exactly you do the specifics of it. So you're going to have some upwards division, and players who actively play Arena are going to get up. They're going to have a motivation to do so because the rewards are going to increase. New players are going to get into the bottom arena with players that are relatively inactive most likely, so they're going to have an easy time advancing or at the very least getting that elite spot. And whenever you're going to get stuck and you can't advance or you can't get elite anymore, you're going to be demoted and get a slight decrease, or can make the active choice of getting yourself demoted by not playing, and next season getting again an elite reward. So you can kind of manage that system yourself in that regard, and it's going to be far better for everybody because older players with huge accounts are going to have a motivation to make the best out of them, and at the same time new players are going to have an easier time with this. Though if they implement this specifically, as I said, it's going to be hell most likely in the first like 1, 2, 3, or 5 arena seasons until everybody gets going and starts climbing the divisions. But in the long run, I think this change would be amazing. Also, add XP capsules in the arena store, so there is always something to spend your arena medals on, even if you have all the characters featured in all their gears. Also, when you pass the first 50% of the divisions, the first half, let's say it's 10 divisions, after you're in Division 4, let's say they start from 10 being the lowest and you're in Division 4, you're going to get, let's say, an access to some specific shop that people below that division don't have access to, which might have some legendary shards and stuff like that. And yet again, this is some further motivation for people to keep playing Arena, because keep in mind, what you want to do is for people to play your game and for them to play it as much as possible. Yeah, that's about the first thing with the Arena system rework. Now, next up, in League Store, League donations, and all about leagues. This is going to be all about leagues. First of all, add a slider. I know, asking too much at this point. They already added a slider for XP capsules, but I'm asking for another one. I'm making the bold demands that you add a slider to the league donations. so people can donate money more often. Because, for example, my league works on a system where there's founding groups and 5 people donate at the same time to fulfill the costs. And in like tier 10 rates, it unironically takes me about 15 minutes of clicking to actually donate the required amount, because there's also lag whenever you donate, or it takes time to process it, like a 10-second window in between donations. So just add the slider, so with one click I can donate as much money as possible, and I don't waste 15 minutes of my life every single time I have to donate for the league rates. That would be extremely appreciated. The possibility of donating more than 10 shards at once. We got the league donations, you can get 10 shards at once. But that sucks, because it's a very small amount of shards, and this kind of stops the players with built-up accounts to help new players more. So if you would make it like 50 shards a day or something like that, the new players could get a higher boost from being in a league with people that have shards to help them out with that. And I think that would also be an amazing change. And also, it would be absolutely great to actually rework a bit the league artifacts. Because let's be honest over here, the league artifacts were never good. I mean, they were good on release, but only some of them. Even on release, like 4 of the league grade artifacts were actually doing something, and the other ones were filler and not worth using. And nowadays that we get Dark Milk Cards and Crown of Conduct, and the All Blades is no longer relevant, there's simply nowhere where you're going to use Azure artifacts. Like the last time I used an Azure artifact was when I used Region Matrix, and that's a very specific situation. Bump them up a bit, rework them a bit, make them great again, or make them great for the first time because they never were in the first place. But we're done with League Store and League related stuff. Now, talent rerolls. I'm sitting on my main account on 2 million credits from the soul rate rewards, because you get a lot of them. I'm sitting on my secondary account on 80 million credits. But I'm not gonna spend them on talents, because it takes ages to get an epic talent. And talents are going to, in some cases, characters need resistances and armor pierce, can only get those on talents. But in most cases, the best you're going to get from getting epic talents instead of rares is maybe 1 or more attack gear rolls, which in soul rates with all the passive stats from the artifacts are going to be almost irrelevant. So make it so that people can pay more to have higher chances of getting an epic artifact. You press the reroll talent, and then a pop-up appears asking you how much do you want to pay. Want to pay normal cost, you're going to have normal chances. Want to pay 5 times the normal cost, you're going to have triple the chances to get an epic talent. You want to pay 10 times the cost, you're going to have 7 times the chances to get an epic talent. And yet again, it's not my job to actually balance this. You can get those values as much as you can, but I would be personally up to spending up to 5 million at once to get my specific guaranteed epic talent, because I simply can't justify spending 4 hours of my life clicking buttons only to get the perfect epic talent build on the character. That's simply unjustifiable. That's simply not fun. That's not how I want to spend my free time, and I don't think that anybody in this game enjoys re-rolling talents, even if they have the credits to do so. Next up, and also if you get something like I said with like pay 5 times and you get triple the chances, it's also going to make it more worth it to reroll with the lowest cost, but at the same time it's going to allow you, if you're really rolling in cash, which most people are, most people that are not new players and farmed a bit of soul rates are, it's gonna give them an option to actually spend those credits. And you're no longer gonna have accounted bloated with tons of credits. But yeah, that's about it with the talents. Let's move on to the fourth thing. Bump up the passives for 7-star characters. Ideally, I would love a rework for all your characters that don't do anything, like Rival Swamp Thing, Port Supergirl, all that stuff. I would love a rework for it. But reworks are not very profitable for them, because most people already have the characters, and most characters that really need a rework are easy to get. And reworks would be the best way, but simply upping the effect of the passives as you get them to 7 stars for all the characters, because currently like 90% of the characters or 95% of the characters don't have 7-star passives, so there's absolutely no reason to get them to 7 stars other than a bit more health and a bit more attack, which is Not great, not great by any means. And by upping them a bit, for most characters it would not be that relevant. But by all means, give my Sword of Batman a bit more crit chance on the passive. Give my Firestorm a bit more dot resistance. Give my Dark Supergirl a bit more damage on that Kagan attack. Maybe give the Dr. Fates 3 power bar reduction on 7 stars. Maybe bump up the Green Lantern shields. It's going to be a mix and match of it doesn't really make any difference to it's actually good. It's actually a huge improvement to those characters and will do a great job to shift up the meta, maybe make some teams stronger, maybe switch some teams around. It's the easiest way possible to make a huge and entertaining change to the game with the most little effort that you can put into it. I would love to see level 7 passives for all the characters in the game. And some of you might be like, oh, Sigval, but it takes a long ass time to get characters to 7 stars. I don't have any 7-star character yet. Okay, sir, but who asked? Because you're going to get the same thing until you get the character to 7 stars, right? You're not going to get the current passives lowered. You're just going to get something on top if you get them to 7 stars. So you're not getting anything taken away, and you're getting something in addition possibly in the future. And for the last point of this video, I want to talk briefly about the soul rate rewards and the pay-to-win artifacts. I understand that this game needs to make money to stay alive, okay? I do understand that. I want this game to make money and be successful. But at the same time, the situation with the artifacts in the soul rates is totally unbearable because, look, in theory, you can drop any of the soul rate artifacts from any of the rewards that you get. But the chances are there just to be something like, hey, look, it's not pay to win. In theory, you could get that, but you're never gonna get it. Like, if you're farming Rise of Krypton hoping to drop an All Blades, my dude, you're delusional. I'm sorry, but you're delusional. You're on the same board with people that buy every month lottery tickets hoping they will win. I guess somebody will get Beta Club. Some people get Beta Club from Rise of Krypton swords, but most likely will not be you. And I want to fix that. And there is a way to fix it. For normal difficulty, you'll get the guaranteed artifact, like for example Dark Metal cards for Dark Knight soul rates, Conduct for the Black Adam soul rate. But after you pass Heroic 1, each time you finish a Heroic, you're going to get one random of the new artifacts for that soul rate. One of them at absolutely random, and you know there's a lot of filler artifacts that you can get, so a lot of the drops will be bad, but some of them will be good. And at the very least, you're going to get more people to experience the new artifacts that you add to the game, because currently, because they require such a huge investment of money, I personally simply can't see them as anything than rates and soul rates efficient, because if you're gonna sell me with real money an artifact for Arena and Champions Arena, nah bro. But if you did this, then I would consider looking forward to getting an artifact to use that thing in Arena and Champions Arena if it's good and if it's fun. Because it's a lot of fun artifacts that are not worth chasing or not worth upgrading. Because you have better options for raids and soul raids, and that helps you out with the progress. And if you put something like this in Heroics, Heroic 1, Heroic 2, Heroic 3, where you get a random artifact, you're still going to be better off just buying them with real money because of the duplicates. People are going to take a long ass time to get all the artifacts. Maybe they will never get all the artifacts. For example, I have personally finished the last contract. I think it's my most finished soul rate. I finished all the way up to Heroic 7 and then farmed Heroic 7 up to 4 times more. If I every single time dropped a soul rate specific artifact after normal difficulty, I most likely would have like a bit above half of them if I was lucky because of the chance of getting duplicates. But I would still be motivated knowing the fact that I could actually get maybe something good, maybe something that I don't have, still getting materials to upgrade the interesting stuff that I got. You see the point over here? Also, something back to the league stuff. I forgot when I talked about leagues. The rewards for leagues are absolutely garbage. Like in tier 9 and tier 10, there's no reason for people who are getting those rewards to try and get them. It's only for entertainment purposes at the moment. There's absolutely nothing to motivate you to actively chase those rewards. So maybe, just maybe for tier 9 and tier 10, you could maybe add something like for the top spots, like number 1 gets a 0.5 chance to get 200 shards for any legendary character in the game. That being in tier 10, right? Number 2 gets a 0.25% chance to get shards for any legendary in the game. Number 3 gets 0.1, and so on. Just very, very small chances, okay? I'm not asking for the world here. I'm not asking, oh, if I finish number 1 on tier 10, I better have all the legendaries maxed out handed to me on a plate. Just a small chance that's so unlikely to happen that you're not even looking forward to it, but you're happy and motivated when it happens. I'm not asking for much here, okay? But all that being said, this is kind of everything I have to say in this video. Thanks so much for watching. Like the video if you liked it, dislike if you disliked it, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye!